Peace, love, and light, family. Peace, light, and love. Who all I got in the house? I'm going to wait for a couple of people to come in here. Peace, light, and love, family. Y'all know I had to come out with this. I'm trying to wait for a couple of more people to come in the chat. This is going to be short, sweet, and simple. I want to bring this up because it's definitely something that we should all be looking at and calling it out for what it is. So I'm going to wait for a couple more people to come in here, and then I'm just going to get right on into it. How's everybody doing on this Thursday? I hope everybody is doing well, doing all right. Pretty damp and cold and rainy where I'm at. But yeah. Well, anywho, I'm just going to get right into this live and really what I wanted to come forth with and talk about in regards to Karli. Now, this Karli character has been out for about 4 months now, but she's definitely been making her debut within a couple of the episodes of Sesame Street. Now, we all remember Sesame Street with the Big Bird and Bert and Ernie and the Muppets and all of these different caricatures of Sesame Street. But they've come out with a puppet, a character, if you will, to combat the so-called opioid crisis explanation to children. And when I saw it post yesterday, all the mainstream news media outlets had Karli on the world stage, talking about, opioid crisis, etc., and how it's a good thing for children to have someone to empathize with if their parents were on drugs or are on drugs or going through a tough time. I got a problem with Sesame Street, and I have a problem with the hypocrisy and the double standard behind this damn show. Now, I grew up with Sesame Street. I know what Sesame Street is. I've watched it ever since I was a little girl. I knew exactly what Sesame Street is. But for them to come out with a character like this at this time shows the hypocrisy that, let's just put it out there, fuck so-called black people and their crack epidemic. But we're going to focus on the opioid crisis. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I want to talk about this Karli character for Sesame Street. And, if I'm petty for this, so be it. This is who I am. I have to call this shit out for what it is. And I see this is hypocrisy with them bringing this character on. Now, this article states that never a show to shy away from tough subjects, Sesame Street is tackling America's opioid epidemic on revealing that Karli, the little green Muppet that you guys see on this, that I have her hugging Elmo with yellow hair, was in foster care because her mother suffered from addiction. And in essence of her suffering from addiction, Um, they're trying to revvy this up because it's the 50th year anniversary for this show. And Karli explains in the sequence in the part where she said her mom had to go away for a while because she had a grown up problem. The storyline is a part of Sesame Street and the community's projects, offering supplemental content free to providers, parents, and caregivers designed to kids who are often the unseen victims of addiction. And it goes into detail on how, woe was the children. We had to do this for the children. And Karli stated that I love my mom so much, but that she couldn't take good care of me because she was having a tough time. Huh. Ain't that a bitch? It's a story familiar to Celia Woodbury, a 10-year-old girl whose parents battled opioid addiction and are now in recovery. Celia joins Karli in some of the episodes to reassure that children of addicted parents are not alone. We all feel like our big feelings inside, but we're strong and we can work together to go through it. Now I'm going to end it right there on that segment. The hypocrisy behind this. Where was Sesame Street? Where was any of these cartoons during the New Jack era swing era where crack was prevalent, dope was being pushed in so-called black communities, heroin, you name it? Where was the Sesame Street character for so-called black children who were going through the same things that these kids are supposedly be going through right now? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for looking at this like this, or am I overlooking it? Because obviously there's a double standard here to where when it comes to so-called white people, we've got to make a special character for them because we've got to, nip it in the bud and reach out to children. What about the black children? Crack destroyed so many families in the late 70s on into the early 80s on into the 90s. Crack destroyed so many children. And in essence of it destroying many children, it tore a lot of families apart. And it's just like, as long as Sesame Street, they're saying this is the 50th year anniversary of Sesame Street, never once did they make anything in regards to so-called black children on their need, on what black children have been going through with the crack epidemic. But we didn't get nothing. We didn't get nothing. Our children got nothing. Oh, what did we get? Jail? Prison? Or the whole famous phrase, just say no. Up with hope, down with dope. Keep hope alive. That is all black people got. That is all black children received. But you have Sesame Street coming out now with a character, especially for children whose parents are opioid addicts. She had to go away for a while because she couldn't take good care of me, is what Karli said. Where was this softness, this empathetic character for so-called black children? Are y'all seeing where I'm coming from with this? Am I looking at this a little bit too hard in regards to the hypocrisy? Now, we all know that we have children, and some of us have had our children or had children watch Sesame Street. I have never once found a Sesame Street character that empathized with a certain population of kids in regards to, so-called black people with this drug problem that we had back in the 80s, in the New Jack Swing era with the crack. No, but what do they got? They got Karli. What did black kids get back in the day? They got nothing. Nothing. And it's just like a friend of mine came up to me. He's like, well, Ada, what do you think about, Karli? They got a new... When I heard about it, I almost hit the floor. I said, what? And then they've got a couple of other non-traditional caricatures on Sesame Street. I think one of the characters is autistic. I think they've got a genderless character on there now. Whatever. I'm talking about Sesame Street with this Karli character. Where was the black kids Karli back in the crack epidemic? That is my question. Sesame Street. Where was this? But now, since it affects so-called black people, so-called white people, excuse me, it's a problem. It's a festering problem. And we've got to make something for the white children, to have someone empathize with them while their parents are in rehab or ODing on these opioids. Ain't that a bitch? Where black kids didn't get nothing. Nothing. We must be creators. We must create content for our children. And I really wish that there were more brothers and sisters out there creating cartoons for our children and educational things for our children to watch and be a part of. And not only that, have characters that are going to empathize with what our children are going through today. We need more of that. But no, who's in charge of all of these different shows? Is it not pedophiles? Is it not people who like children and doing weird things to children who are in charge of this whole shebang and show? Yeah, that's exactly who's in charge of it. And this whole, white supremacy system. But I just thought that that was really interesting. And we've got to look at the individuals that were behind the push for this with this character. Now, do I disagree with having her on there? No, that's not my point. My attack comes from, why wasn't there something like this for so-called black children during the crack epidemic to explain things to them? Teaching starts at home. We must educate our children at home on the forefront 110% of the time. In the words, I forget the quote, anyone who allows the enemy to educate their children does not love their children and don't love themselves. We've allowed these individuals to educate us and our children, thinking that they're going to have our best benefit when they don't. They don't give two shits about black people. They don't give two shits about our issues. They don't care. They don't care. And, when I posted that in the community post this morning, I said, a lot of people probably might think that I'm petty, but I'm an Aries, y'all. I really don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what they expose about me. Because you know why? I know who I am. And I know what I stand for and what I don't stand for. And what I don't stand for is hypocrisy like this. This is a slap in the face. Now, I was born in 1985, and I grew up with Sesame Street. And it's just like, in essence of me growing up, I don't remember. I don't have a character in mind when everybody was going through the whole crack epidemic thing back in the 80s and the 90s. Now, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, y'all please tell me I'm wrong if I'm looking at this in a different way. What do you guys think about this when you guys saw it? Do you guys watch Sesame Street or have family members that watch Sesame Street? No. And it's just really, really fucked up because, during that time, black people, so-called black people that were on drugs, they didn't have any rehabilitational programs and rehab. For us, no. What was our rehab? Jail. That was a rehab. Jail, prison. Yep, that's what we got. And keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Up with hope, down with dope. That's all black folks got. Just say no. Just say no is all black folks got for our children. But these children today, these others, they get a whole goddamn character. A whole goddamn character on a whole damn character on the opioid crisis and how she was in foster care because her mom had to go away for a while. Awesome explanation for a child, isn't it? Wouldn't it have been great to have some explanations for the so-called black children whose lives were ruined and tarnished due to the crack epidemic. That would have been nice. Okay, I'm going to read y'all comments as I go on here. It says, we need our own cartoons programming our children. Trauma Hawk, you are right about that. Not all grown-ups are watching it. Yeah, no, I know a lot of grown folks don't watch it. I know it's pretty much a program for the kids, but yeah, it says that Oscar the Grouch was a homeless black man. Oh, I didn't see that. Really, King Apollyon? Oh, I haven't seen it. I have to look that up. That gotta be an 80s one. That's gotta be an old one. Or is it a recent? I haven't seen that one. I'll have to look that up. But you see what I'm saying? They've got all of these things catering to them, but when it comes to us talking about our needs, talking about things dealing with so-called black people, it ain't gonna happen. We need our own Sesame Street. We need our own everything, period. But I just wanted to come forth with this and talking about this, having some social commentary with you guys to see exactly, what you guys think in regards to this. And I may be overthinking it. I haven't seen any so-called black commentators or YouTubers talk about this or where they stand with this. I just thought that I would be the first one to talk about it and give my viewpoint on it in regards to our children. I thought it was very, very important that I came forward with this. Wow, they really be going through it if they need to create this character. Hey, Deneen, they are. That's the problem. They are, but see how awesome karma is. See how awesome Great Spirit is, how the ancestors are really around us. We can feel them. We can see them. Everything that they set up for us has failed. Everything that they did to try to create things against us as war weapons is backfired on them. They thought that so-called black people was going for the meth. Now, I'm not saying that there are not black people that are not on meth. I'm not saying that. But when they created this drug and they created all these different things, they were betting on so-called black people to take a hold of it and kill themselves with it. See, black people by and large, I can't speak for every so-called individual, so-called black person. We're not into that shit. We are a holistic, spiritual people. Now, you had people, some of us have had family members that were on drugs, on drugs and things like that, but they didn't really fuck with no ice. I didn't even know what ice was, or meth, or opioids. And let me tell you something. Those drugs that these others are taking and are indulging in are very expensive. In regards to the habit. Like, it's expensive to buy cocaine and opioids and how they get it. But see, they were banking on so-called black people to fall for the okie doke, to fall for these drugs. But see, it's backfired. You have got them filling up morgues. They're nowhere that they can put these bodies in states like Ohio and Illinois and states across America where they've got the morgues. They can't keep the body. There's so many goddamn bodies, they're running out of room. And you're right, Deneen. If they had to come out with a character on Sesame Street to talk about this, you know that the problem must be kind of bad, ain't it? I love karma. Karma ain't a bitch. Karma is awesome. I love it. You get what you put out. Everything that they have done against us, family, is backfiring on them, and it will overtake them. Period, point blank, done. The same grave that they've dug for us, they will be the ones falling into that grave. You had AIDS? Yeah, that didn't work. Cancer? Yeah, a lot of so-called black people do have cancer and are getting cancer, but it ain't wiping us out like they want it to. Meth? No. That's not so-called black people's drug of choice. Not to say that there are not black people on meth. We don't fuck with that shit. Cocaine, crack, yeah. Heroin, maybe. Weed, damn sure. I don't necessarily consider weed as a drug. It is an herb. And if you really want to get technical with it, a lot of our ancestors, especially in the southeastern area, all the way down into Mexico, Yucatan area, down by Peru, Inca territory, Maya territory, they used cocaine. They did. But it was for medicinal uses and maybe sometimes recreational, but it wasn't as, it's not like it was back then, how it is now, where you've got parents of these others passing out in grocery stores, falling asleep, with their kids in the car. There was a couple of pictures that I saw that a couple of people were passed out in Target, with their kids on this stuff. And yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's a horrible thing. I feel bad, whatever. But yeah, well, it happened to so-called black people. We didn't get no empathy. We didn't get no justice. We got prison and we got jail. That's what we got. That's what so-called black people got. And I shouldn't be bitching about this, but I need to bitch about it because I want to awaken the spirit of the entrepreneur within our brothers and sisters to create content and things like that for us, by us, for our children. We need to take control of that because we can no longer have mainstream news media outlets and shows like, Sesame Street and Disney and all this stuff, either way you look at it, goes back to pedophilia and people who support it. These are sick, twisted bastards who are running this whole show. You got people the likes of Walt Disney, who was the 33rd degree man, parlay with children and do all types of abominable things, as well as MK Ultra mind control on children, and creating alters and personalities. This goes on and this happened. We have got to take control of our children and what they see. Can you show me how to get to Melanin Street? I like that. I like that. Yep. Hey, it's the truth. And it's just like, these are not people that we're dealing with. All right. These others that we're dealing with, it's not like they are us, because they are not. You have some people who have souls. You have some people who are walking around here who have no soul, and you have us. We are the most spiritual people on this planet. We are spiritual from the inside out. And the reason why the delusion for us is so strong as so-called black people is because everything our ancestors did is nature, but they brainwashed our ancestors and us into, the cult of Christianity, which is where we are today. And our people, they just don't want to let go because we are a spiritual people. They need to feel, our people, I guess, need to feel something to believe in. But what they did was they took the belief that we had in ourselves and placed it on white Jesus, Sky Daddy Jesus, and Muhammad, and Allah, and all these other different idols and things like that that our ancestors knew not. Our ancestors were the very embodiment of nature, of the cosmos, and of the universe, period. But yeah, I just thought that this was really interesting and it would be a really good story to cover. Call me petty if you want. So be it. I see the writing on the wall. They get a whole caricature for the opioid crisis. But we got no explanation. Black children back in the 80s, the New Jack era, they did not get an explanation. They did not get a character from Sesame Street to combat the crack epidemic that was destroying families and ruining children's lives, who have a lasting effect. And great to, have that for our children, that they weren't alone during the crack epidemic when their parents or whoever was on drugs. No, but they have a whole skit and numerous skits. Check this out if y'all don't believe me. Karli, introducing Karli to Sesame Street. And you got Emma, oh, Karli. Oh, Karli. It's okay, Karli. It's okay. Huh. Ain't that something? A shoulder to cry on. Giving these children a shoulder to cry on. And it's then backfired. It's okay, Karli. Don't cry, Karli. It's okay, Karli. We're in this together. Ain't that some shit? Where was the togetherness when it was the crack epidemic? That's my question. Could somebody ask me that? Answer me that? About my nephew, y'all, he loves Elmo. I can only take about an hour of it, but that voice, I just can't. I can do a real good Elmo, I can. But I just remember on the episode, he's all, oh, Karli, don't cry, Karli, don't cry. And, you know, she was talking about her mom and how she had to go away for a while. We didn't get no explanation. No, daddy and mama, they went to jail. Why? Because they were drug users. That's all we got. We got prison. We didn't even get no rehabilitative services. And you know one thing that's really been tripping my shit, y'all? Y'all want to know another thing that's really been tripping me the fuck out? Have y'all... Okay. All right. Have y'all seen these commercials where they're offering rehabilitative help for individuals who are addicted to opioids, these treatment centers that these people can go to if they are experiencing addictive tendencies on the TV shows and commercials? This was not going on during the crack epidemic. It was not. What did they do to the so-called people that was on crack? Who lived? All of y'all who lived back in that time, think back. What happened to the crack addicts or the crackheads in the hood back in New Jack Swing time? Crack epidemic. What were they doing to so-called black people back then who were on crack? Can y'all tell me? Now, I was a kid. I vaguely remember. Like I said, I was born in 85. I was around the New Jack Swing era. I remember a lot, but I don't remember a lot. But yeah, crack ruined my family on so many levels. Never got any sympathy from this world. Had to heal myself. See, and this is what I'm talking about. And it's just a slap in the face to where, people and kids like, who grew up in the 90s and the late 80s and things like that. We didn't have this. But since the narrative has changed and it's affecting so-called white people who have privilege, something's got to be done about that. We've got to tell our children. We've got to create a character for these kids. Oh, woe is these children. Their fathers are opioid addicts, and so is the mom. We've got to do something for these kids. These kids need help. These are special children. What did we get? No. They didn't do a goddamn thing for black kids that watch Sesame Street in regards to the crack epidemic. No, they didn't do shit. Just say no. Y'all remember that? And I don't know. I vaguely remember this song came out. I hated the fucking song. It was a group, and I guess they were trying to raise the awareness of crack in the so-called black community that came out with this song. Now, if you remember this song, let me get a 1. I'm going to go forth with this. Your mama's on crack rock. Y'all remember that? Your mama's on crack rock. They made a song about this. I don't know who made that fucking song, but I remember that song. And it did more damage than good. They publicized it. They publicized the problem, but didn't give us any tools to even combat the problem. Do you remember that song? Your mama's on crack. Your mama's on crack rock. That's all we got. Just say no. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for these devils. I don't feel bad for these people. What was our sympathy? What was our empathy in this? Hey, I feel it. Trauma hawk. I saw Sticks and Stones. I think it was awesome. I think it's fucking genius. I feel just like he does. Well, y'all want me to feel some type of way? I don't, but I'm pissed about this. I know I probably shouldn't be pissed, but it's just like the hypocrisy, the double standard. We got nothing while these kids got Karli. Karli to explain that her mom had to go away for a while because she couldn't take care of them. They don't do nothing. We had to figure that shit out for ourselves and kept it moving. Facts. I remember the crack baby insult we used to throw around too as kids. Shit. They was on crack too. It still is. Hey, you got that right. You got that right, Queen. They are the they are the leading ones on this shit. But see, they planned it for us. They planned it for Black people to indulge in these drugs. See, because they already got the Indian. They already got us drunk. Black people, by and large, which is the Indian, are the world's best drinkers. We drink the best shit. We drink till we drop. A lot of us love the fire water. I do like my wine. But they got us on the alcohol base. That started all the way when they got here. They made sure that they set up shop, the distilleries, and creating liquor stores in villages, gin liquor stores and things like that across the South to keep the Indian drunk. And what do we see today? It's funny how things never change when it comes to the Indian in America. So-called Black people, which are the true Indians of this land, have more liquor stores within a block radius than any so-called neighborhood in America. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. You can walk 2 to 3 blocks in your average inner city today and spot about 4 or 5 liquor stores. But no, that's not good enough for them. We've got to create a drug. Biological warfare. We've got to create a drug to have them die and be addicted to it. Yeah, we're going to create this crack. We're going to create this meth. Yeah, maybe they'll want to get high on life with that. See, they're the ones doing it, and they're doing a lot of other awful stuff. There's this other drug as well that these white people are really into. These others are into. It's called crackadilly. Crackadilly. Look it up. Liquor stores and churches. You got it. I've seen liquor stores next to the church. You don't find that in no other neighborhood but so-called Black neighborhood. Now, depending on what city you're in, I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin when I saw this. They sell like pipes and stuff like that in there too. They want us drunk. They want us high out our minds. So we don't visually see and spiritually see with our third eye what is actually going on in the game that's being ran on us. But we're waking up to the point in the matter is that y'all motherfuckers don't care about us, so I don't care about y'all. That's how I feel. I'm saving my energy. All right? I'm saving my energy. I'm saving it all. They don't deserve it. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, y'all. Tell me I'm wrong. I ain't wrong on this. But I just want to come forth here with this informative information. Definitely check out the episode, if you will. And Karli, Sesame Street, opioid foster kid who was in foster care because her mom had to go away for a while. Check it out. It was all over the world news last night. They're still propping it up again. It's hypocrisy It's a slap in the face. It's insensitive. It's just wrong on so many different levels. And I thought it'd be a good idea to come forth with this because I didn't see anybody give any type of social commentary in regards to this Sesame Street character on, opioids. But we didn't get anything. We didn't get anything as youth watching Sesame Street, someone to empathize with us on certain topics. We didn't get that. But since it's them that are being affected by this, they've got to come out with a character. We need a character. We need a character quick. Denise said it best. You know it's bad when they got to come out with a character to talk about it. Well, wouldn't it be funny, y'all? Wouldn't it be funny, y'all, if the tables were turned, right? And they did us how they do them. They do them how they did us. And rounding them all up and putting them in jail. They didn't get no treatment. They didn't get no benefit. They didn't get no rehab. I'm telling you what these crackheads did. They made crackheads into agents of the state, and they also made them, all right, just put them in jail. They didn't give them no type of help, and now you got these bitches out here on meth. They getting houses. They getting grants. They getting their teeth fixed. All types of shit out here for these people. This help wasn't available for so-called black people during a crack epidemic. It wasn't, and it ain't. You name me. And another thing I've noticed is that these centers and rehab places are popping up all across white neighborhoods. But sorry about that, y'all. I'm going to cut it short because y'all know what they do and how they do it. I just wanted to come forth with this to talk about this because it's something that needed to be said and talked about on a social commentary level, and to definitely look at and think about in regards to this. Peace, light, and love to everyone out there on this Thursday. I hope that everyone enjoys their day. Please like, please subscribe, and definitely, hit me up and let me know what you think about this and leaving comments after this post. Peace, light, and love to everybody. Bye.